Chof Hey Amud Aleph will begin Chof Dalad and Beis, about 2/3 of the way down at the beginning of the Gemara, right after the Mishnah. So, Zok the Mishnah, Ein Madlikim Shemen Sreif B'Yontiv. You're not allowed to use Shemen Sreif on Yontiv, which we said means Shemen, the oil of Truma that became Tmeya, that became Tomei, and it's talking about that Yontiv is Erev Shabbos, and you cannot use this, you cannot burn this oil on Yontiv. So you cannot use it for the Erev Shabbos because it would involve burning this shemen, which is Tomei, on Erev Shabbos, which is Yontiv. My time, what's the reason? Lefish ain't surfing kachim b'Yontiv. It's also to burn kachim and Yontiv. This is Truma is in the category of kachim, and therefore we say it. You cannot burn it. It's also to burn it on Yontiv. Minan emili. How do I know this? The Rashi explains. Why should I say this? If not for the fact that there's Exeris HaKosov, I would say that the essay of Ba'esh Tisraifu should be Doicha, the Isser of Malach on Yontiv, Leisaz Kol Malacha. Kachim, there's an essay of Ba'esh Tisraifu. If Kachim become Tomei, there's an essay, mitzvah's essay, to burn them. Without a special Exeris HaKosov, I would say the essay, this essay is Doicha, the Loisase of not doing Malach on Yontiv. So what's the makor to say that ain't surfing Kachim b'Yontiv? It says you should not leave over from the Korban Pesach till the morning, and upon noiser mimenu ad boiker, and what is left over ad boiker. It says ba'esh tisreifu she'ein tamud loimer ad boiker. Now it doesn't have to say the second time ad boiker. It says loiser mimenu ad boiker. Don't leave it over to the morning. So then it simply should say v'hanoiser mimenu, and what is left over ba'esh tisreifu. Why does it reiterate v'hanoiser mimenu ad boiker the second time ad boiker? So matam ad boiker. Why does it say ad boiker again? Because of litin like boiker sheni l'sreifa. So what it means to say is that not only the first morning, which is Yontiv, which is Tesvav of Nisan, which is Pesach, don't leave it over till the morning. Don't leave it over till the morning, 15th of Nisan, till Pesach morning. It has to be eaten the Korban Pesach at night. Now, what is left over, what is left over, when is it burnt? It's not burnt on the first morning, that's Yontiv. You wait till the next morning, which is Chol HaMoed. Ad boiker gives another boiker to tell you burn it. You burn the kachim and the Chol HaMoed, not on Yontiv. So ain't surfing kachim b'Yontiv. You can't burn kachim on Yontiv, and we don't say that an essay is doicha the loisase. The special Exeris HaKosov tells me that's what's left over has to be, it remains, it's left over till Chol HaMoed, and it's burned on Chol HaMoed, but not on Yontiv. Abai Amar Makro, he says a different makor, a different pasuk says Oil Shabbos b'Shabbat. The Oil Shabbos, your makriv, the Oil Shabbos on the Shabbos. The oil of Shabbos on Shabbos. V'loi Oil Chol b'Shabbos, but you cannot burn the oil of a chol. If on Erev Shabbos you're makriv a korban, and if they didn't burn yet the ivorm v'pedorim, you cannot burn that on Shabbos. It's only oil Shabbos b'Shabbat, not oil chol b'Shabbos. V'loi oil chol b'Yontiv, and not oil chol on Yontiv. You can't burn the oil chol on Erev Yontiv on Yontiv. It can't be done on Yontiv. So it has to be only the Shabbos dike, Yontiv dike korbanos on Shabbos and Yontiv, but not shulchol. So you see that you not burn things that are not shayach to the Shabbos and Yontiv cannot be burned on Shabbos and Yontiv. The Rishonim bother Taisus, other Rishonim bother. It says Shabbos. How do we know Yontiv over here? The Ramban explains that really both Oil Shabbos and Shabbat, both of those words are extra. Because it simply could have said Yomi Shabbos Shnei Chvasim Taminim, and it could have said, in addition, it could have said Al Oilas Atomid Veniska. The Oilas Shabbos is actually for Shabbos, but Shabbat includes Yontif. Rav Amar, he says a different source. Amar Kro Hu Levadoi Yasalachem. Only what is needed for Oichel Nefesh can be done on Yontif. Hu v'loi machshir, lavadoi v'loi mila shloi bezmana. So we exclude hu v'loi machshirin. Only Oichel Nefesh can be done on Yontif, but machshirei Oichel Nefesh, to prepare utensils, to prepare kalim, which those kalim we use for Oichel Nefesh, that cannot be done. Those malachas cannot be done on Yontif. It's only the direct malacha for the preparation of food, but not preparing items, utensils that will be used, even though they'll be used for the preparation of food. But if it's not directly for the preparation of the food itself, it's also v'loi mila shloi bezmana. And not a mila shloi bezmana is not daichayav, the asi b'kal v'chaymer, because you would have learned it out from a kal v'chaymer. You would have learned it out from a kal v'chaymer, as Rashi explains that in Rabbi Lezer de Mila, because saras is deicha avodah. A kain who has a saras, leprosy, can't do the avodah. Saras deicha the avodah. Avodah is deicha Shabbos. Now Mila is deicha saras. If there's a saras and makam and Mila, even though there's an issue to cut the makah, to cut the saras, but the makam and Mila it's deicha. So I would have made a kal v'chaymer to say that the Mila shaloi bezman, even though it's shaloi bezmana, I would have said made a kal v'chaymer that it's deicha. Kamash Malan, we say no, it's not. But it's only hu levadoi yasalachem. Only what's needed for the Oichel Nefesh itself. And therefore we say that a mitzvah which is not zmana kavua, mila shaloi bezmana is not zmana kavua. It can be done the next day. It's not daicha yontif. Similarly, sreifas kachim also can be done the next day. Sreifas kachim is not daicha yontif. Ravashi Omar Shabbos, and Ravashi says the whole premise over here is not necessary, because the whole premise of requiring exeres akasa was because I should say that the essay Meish Tisraifa is daicha the loisas of loisas malacha. But Ravashi says it's not correct, because Shabbos and essay is in addition to the loisas malacha that's involved in Yontif. There's also a positive command mitzvahs essay. Shabbos, you have to have rest. You have to be shvais. You have to rest on Yontif. So therefore, Shabbos and Esei v'havlei Yontif, Esei v'loisasei. A person who violates the Yontif doing malach, he's over loisas, but he's also mevatel the Esei Shabbosan. Vein Esei doiches loisasei ve'esei, and the Esei of burning that kachim which are tamei, that is only an Esei. An Esei is not doicha loisasei and an Esei. So therefore, you see clearly that it cannot be doicha in certain kachim beyond it. So for Azak the Gemara beyond of Huda also, this is on Yontif. On Yontif it's also to burn the kach habachol shapir dami. But during the weekday it's mutter. During the weekday it's shapir dami, it's mutter. My timer, where do we see that on the weekday you could use it, and you could use these neiros? You can't use these neiros. You can't use the shemen sreifa to burn it on Shabbat Yontif, which is Erev Shabbos, because it's Yontif. But if it had not been for the fact that it's Yontif, if it would have been just a weekday, you could use it for neiros, meaning you could get hana from it. How do you know that truma, that you can get hana from the burning of it? So beyond the Vudas Harbachol Shavla my time, or where do we see this? Amarav Mishum Shemitza Lisser Kachim Shenitma. Amarav Kishem Shemitza Lisser Kachim Shenitma. Just like it's a mitzvah to burn Kachim Shenitma, Kach Mitzvah Lisser is a Truma Shenitma. So too it's a mitzvah to burn Truma, which is Nitmas. V'amra Torah b'shas b'yura tehanim imena, and the Torah says it's a mitzvah to burn it. You have to burn it, but the Torah, as we'll see shortly, indicates that when you do burn it, you can derive benefit from it. So mehechan amra Torah, where does the Torah say that you can get benefit? Midah Rav Nachman, we see it from what Rav Nachman says. Amar Rav Nachman, Amar Baravu, Amar Kra. The pasuk says, "Vani hinei nasati l'chas mishmeres trumoisai." It says, I'm giving it to you to safeguard my truma. You have to safeguard the truma. You have to make sure that it's safeguarded. And even truma tameya has to be safeguarded to make sure that you burn it and it doesn't come, they call it, nobody comes to eat it. And it says that Loshen Trumoisa Bishtei Trumasa Kosim Medaber. How do we know that it's talking even by Truma Tameya? Truma Tahara, you have to safeguard it that it doesn't become Tomei. How do I know even Truma Tameya you have to save, you have to burn it so and that people don't come to eat it? Because it says Loshen Rabim, plural, Trumoisa, two Trumas. Bishtei Trumasa Kosim Medaber. Achas Truma Tahara, Achas Truma Tameya. So we see the references pasuk is talking about also Truma Tameya. Now the pasuk says, "Vayni hinei nasati lecha." I'm giving it to you. It's yours, so therefore you can derive benefit for it, use it as fuel to cook with it, or for the light from it. So you see, if not for the fact that it would be yontiv, you could derive benefit from it. By same and other sources, we can learn out from Rav Yochanan. It says by the Vidu Maisers, you make the confession of the Maisers after the third year, and you say you declare, make your declaration that I did as I was commanded. And it says, and it says, I was not mevayer minute with when the Maiser was Tomei. As Rashi points out, whether it was Tomei or whether I was Tomei. So either any one were Tomei, lo bi'arat mimenu. So we survive. There's a miut, lo bi'arat mimenu v'tomei. So mimenu ata maver. You can't burn from it, from the meiser that became Tomei, from the meiser sheni that became Tomei. You can aval ata maver shemesh shel truma shenitmes. So it's a miut. This you can't. Meiser you can't, but truma that became Tomei you can. How do you know the exclusion is Meiser? Meiser is also, but Truma's mutter, maybe Meiser is also, but Kaidish, Shaman of Kaidish is mutter. What do you mean? Lav Kal V'chaimeru? It's in the Kal V'chaimer. Ma Meiser Hakal. Meiser is not as severe, it's not as chamor as Kaidish. Amra Tayaloi Bi'atmi Mena B'tomei. Yet the Torah says you cannot be Mavar B'tzuma. Kaidish, Chomer. Kaidish was Chomer like Kol Shekain. Certainly you would not be able to. Practically more, if you're going to make the Kal V'chaimer, Yachi Truma Namilei Kal V'chaimeru. Say the same thing by Truma. Truma is more chomer than Meiser, so say the same thing. If Meiser you cannot derive benefit when it's Tomei, certainly Truma. Says, but we have a miut. It says mimena Meiser. It's excuse maiva. Something else would be mutter. So therefore, we have a Meiser which is awesome. The Torah says Meiser which is Tomei is awesome, but it says mimena. It's an exclusion. Something else is mutter. But we have a Kal V'chaimer that says if Meiser Akal is aser, then Truma, Kaidish, they're both more chomer, then they should be aser. So what is the item that the memeno, so the memeno is only excluding one item. One item that we say is notwithstanding the Kal V'chaimer, but the pasuk says memeno, Truma is aser, but this would be mutter. So I have a choice. I could say that it's either Truma or Kaidish. So Marais, why should you say that Kaidish is Aser, but Truma Tamei is Mutter? Mistaber Kaidish Lematinan. It's Mistaber to say that I'm not going to exclude Kaidish because Kaidish is the most Chomer, it's more Chomer. And I would say Kal V'chaimer, if Meiser is Aser, Kaidish is Chomer, Shekain Simen Pankas Akas. It's an acronym. Each letter stands for a different item. What does it stand for? So the pay is Pigel. By Kaidish, this Pigel. If a person checks the kachim with a machshava of pigel to eat it chutz l'zmanai, then that becomes pigel. And even if he eats it within the zman, his pigel is chayv course. This is nicer. Nicer is if he did not do the avoida with a machshava to have it chutz l'zman, but it was a kosher korban, but it was left over till the morning. It's nicer. Korban. It's called a korban. Mi'ila, there's a din mi'ila on it. There's a din mi'ila that under certain circumstances, if a non-kohen or someone is not entitled, not allowed to eat from it, he's over mi'ila, and there's keren l'chaimish and the korban osham. The chorus, and someone is not entitled to eat from it, as to say, someone is tomei tumas haguf, and he's tomei tumas haguf, and he eats the kachim, he's chayiv chorus. And it's also, the samach is also l'oinen. If a person, Rahman al-Islam, the day of the Misa of a relative, so it is an Isser Oinen, that's by Kachim, it does not apply by Truma. So these apply by Kachim and not by Truma, and therefore we should say that Kachim have this additional Chumrah, and therefore if Meiser is also B'Truma, certainly Kaidish. Truma also has specific and certain special chumas. I should not exclude Truma because she can machbaz simen. What is machbaz? What does it stand for? Misa. So a zar who eats the Truma, a non-kohen, is chay misa b'dei shemayim. The chaymesh, and if a zar eats it, he's chay chaymesh, he has to pay not only the principal amount, but add a fifth. Whereas by kachim, once it becomes a mutter for the kohen, there is no addition of chaymesh involved with there. The kodesh, once there's a heter l'kahanim, there's no chaymesh involved in it. Whereas truma, it's mutter to the kohen, but there always is a chaymesh for if a zar eats from it. Bein la pidyon, there's no pidyon by truma. You can never redeem truma. It becomes the kohen, it becomes designated for the kohen, it can never be redeemed. Now, kachim, if before the avodah there's a mum in the carbon, you can be redeemed, you can be paid it. You can't do that with truma. V'asurim l'zarim, and it's also for a zar. But you have certain types of kachim are mutter for a zar, like meiser behema. Once you do an avodah, then it's mutter or shlomim. There are certain types of kachim that are mutter for a zar, but truma is never mutter for a zar. So the more answers, it's true. Truma has its own specific special chumras, but halach nefishan. But the chumras that kachim have, the list is larger. It's a bigger list. So therefore, I would say that if meiser is loy bi'arti mimena b'tama is also b'tuma to get the right benefit from it, kalachaymer kaidish. Now, even though truma is more chomer than meiser, but mimeno loy bi'arti mimeno, which says this is something else is mutter, truma is mutter. I'll give you another answer. The first answer was that the list of kachim is longer. Kodesh Chomer. I'd say another reason that Kodesh Chomer shekain onish chorus, because it has the punishment of chorus, which is more severe. Truma only has misa b'dei shemayim, but chorus is more severe because not only does he die early, but he dies childless. He dies childless, so that is a greater chumrah. So therefore, qualitatively, not only quantitatively, but qualitatively, the chumras of Kodesh are more. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar Kori says, it's from a pasuk, you see it clearly from the pasuk, says, Titen loy v'loy la'ari. It says you can derive it clearly from the pasuk that it is muter bahana, because the pasuk says that reishis the gancha, the truma, the first you have to give to the kohen. It says titin loy, you have to give him something that he can derive benefit from. So therefore, if you have grain which is tor, you're not mafresh something which is tome, truma temeya, to pater something truma tahira. You cannot give to the kohen something which is tomei in order, you're not mafrishim min tomei ala tor. You have to give something to the kohen, titin loy, that he can use, that he can consume, that he can take it, he can consume himself. And not something where he can only derive benefit from the light of it, from the heat of it. Michlal, that the kohen could derive benefit from the oil of it. It's just that you can't be mafresh, that's me'al tahara. But in itself, the truma tameya is something that he could derive benefit from the oil. So titin loy v'loy la'or, you can't give it to him something that he can't consume, he can't use for something which is tahara, to be mafresh minat me'al tahara, to satisfy the obligation of giving on something which is Torah, to give to the kohen with something which is Tomei. Because there he can only derive benefit from there, but you do see clearly that truma, which is Tameya, the kohen can derive benefit from the light, from the or, from the heat of it.